Mr. Brown, could you peek outside and see if Representative Blazejewski is there? I think he's right outside the door. That will, if he is... No, okay, let's take up House Bill 5701 by Representative Solomon. This act would give local boards discretion to designate times and places where optical scan voting equipment and sample ballots are exhibited for instructional purposes. Let's call up John Marion from Common Cause, Jason Martesian from the Secretary of State, and Kathy Palencina from the Providence Board of Canvassers. Sorry if I got that wrong, Kathy.
Thank you again. My testimony is really repetitive with the last bill. The board is seeking greater flexibility in how they administer. The board can represent what this bill does, but there are guidelines in the statute about machines that are available in cities and town halls. They would like to, as I understand it, see those machines available on election day and have access to those machines. And so we support their having extra equipment. As you know, you appropriated money for extra equipment. We're not buying any more equipment anytime soon, in all likelihood. So every available machine should be available on election day for polling place use, and if that's a higher purpose for that machine than simply being available in town hall for demonstration purposes.
Thank you, Representative Knight.
Just want to be clear. Does that mean you support 5701?
So there's two boxes on there. I checked the support box. It'd be the preference that the language about the sample ballots and all that be left, but we support the idea of those machines being available.
Thank you.
Representative Corvese.
So you're changing the word from shall to may, correct?
This isn't my bill, so...
You're supporting a bill that changed the words from shall to may?
Yes.
Designate suitable and adequate times and places for optical scanning voting equipment and sample ballots showing titles of offices. So what you're saying is the local board may want to put a sample ballot up, may not want to put a sample ballot up. You think that's wise?
As I said to Representative Knight's question, my preference would be this were just about the machines, but there were two boxes to check on the form, and I checked the support. Maybe I should have left it blank. I will say sample ballots, and most people don't go to town hall to look at their sample ballot. The Secretary of State's website makes your sample ballot available. I think Jason could speak to the fact that tens of thousands of people access their sample ballots, if not hundreds of thousands, on that website.
But you're having the local board determine whether or not where sample ballots are going to be shown. That also includes the voting places. The way I read it.
No, this deals pre-election. This isn't about the layout of the polling place.
So this is only for giving instructions. This is not on the day of election.
That's
so
my
this
reading.
Does not affect that.
That's my reading of it, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Vice Chair McEntee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you know anybody at this table, why are we doing this? I mean, are the cities and towns complaining about putting the sample ballots out? I think it's pretty effective.
Kathy,
when you walk into a city or town hall and you see the sample ballot and you can try out the machines, especially in this past year where we had new machines. So I'm just wondering why suddenly we want to do this, if anybody knows.
Hi. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Kathy Placentia. I am from the Providence Board of Canvassers. Oh, is it on? Okay. Sorry. My name is Kathy Placencia. I am from the Providence Board of Canvassers. So this bill would work in conjunction with House Bill 5699. And basically what happens is that we have demo voting machines at each local board of canvassers. So we don't use the demo machines. I don't think that this has anything to do with the sample ballots, because we would still have the sample ballots available at the local board of canvassers, and we would place them up and make them available for the public. I think that this is just about the voting machines, so that they can be turned over to the state. We don't have any use for them at our level, so that way, if it would work with Bill 5699, and.
Well, maybe what we should do is take out the sample ballot part, like I think John was saying, because that does make it confusing.
Right.
Thank you.
Representative Knight.
And I just say that I think Representative Corvasi's point is that there are some towns where the political structure that's in place, it may be advantageous to one side or the other to put away the sample ballots, and that would not be good for democracy.
Thanks. Any further questions for, I think we're on John still. Jason?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Again, so on behalf of Secretary Gorbea, we agree with much of what John had mentioned, and think as also Kathy had mentioned, that really around the machines and allowing the Board of Elections a little bit more flexibility to address demands on Election Day and before Election Day, and to allocate equipment more appropriately. We saw some, while the majority and the vast majority, I think, of folks across the state experienced a smooth election day, there were some locations where there were some bottlenecks in lines due to certain issues, and we think that just allowing for a little bit more flexibility, as Kathy mentioned, there's a separate bill put forward for the Board of Elections to address these issues. Also, I just wanted to make it clear that the Secretary does go all over the state and is happy to go to any of your districts across the state, doing voter information events, voter registration events. We were all over the state. Rob was all over the state with the new machines, and we will continue to do that, working with the state board and the local boards of canvassers and clerks to make people aware of how to vote, how to use the machines. And as John mentioned, when you go on our website for primary and general elections, type in your voter registration. Not only can you find your polling location, the day of the election, but you can also pull up the ballot exactly how it's going to look in your polling location on Election Day, or if you choose to vote early, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So for those reasons, we do support this piece of legislation, and thank the board for bringing it forward.
Thank you. Any questions for the Secretary of State's office? Kathy, did you have anything more?
I just wanted to say that I am in support of this bill. This would allow extra machines to be held at the State Board of Elections, and they can distribute to wherever they needed to. If there was an additional machine that was needed at a polling place, then they can do that, and they would have these machines available.
Thank you, Kathy. Any questions? Any final questions? Thank you very much. That will conclude testimony on House Bill 5701 by Representative Solomon.